Great.
Go ahead and open this meeting for February 17th, 2016. City of Oceanside, Harbor District, CDC. Roll call, please.
Mayor Wood,
Here.
Deputy Mayor Lowry, Councilmember Feller. He is or Jerry is? Okay. Oh, nice. Okay. Good. Great. Wonderful.
Okay, the City Council meet in closed session to discuss labor negotiations involving the Oceanside Police Officers Association non-sworn, OFA, OFMA, Western Council of Engineers, and MECO.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. First off, for informational, apparently we have problems with all our toilets in the building. If you want some emergency, you're going to have to go to the library area quite a bit. So I apologize for that. We'll get started, and roll call, please.
Mayor Wood.
Here.
Deputy Mayor Lowry.
Here.
Councilmember Feller.
Here.
Councilmember Kern.
Thank you very much. With that, we'll go to the consent calendar.
Yes, consent calendar items 2 through 12, and there are no public on any of these items.
Any,
No, move approval.
motion and a second. Thank you very much. No comments, no public on any one of these?
No
Thank
public.
you very much. Could we please vote?
Motion approved, 4-0.
And if we could move on to general items, item 13, please.
Yes, item number 13 is authorization to award a contract in an amount not to exceed $8,076,113 to Technical Systems Incorporated of Linwood, Washington for the Water and Sewer System Control and Data Acquisition Major Upgrade Project, approval of a professional services agreement with Rockwell Construction Services of Valley Center in an amount not to exceed $588,600 for inspection and construction management services during construction, and authorization for the city manager to execute the agreements upon receipt of all supporting documents.
Carrie, welcome. Your turn.
Good evening, Honorable Mayor and council members. The Supervisory Control and Data Acquisition System, or SCADA system, is very simply allows us to monitor and control the major system components within both water and sewer utilities. These include 34 sewer lift stations, 2 water treatment plants, 2 wastewater treatment plants, and 29 remote sites, which include reservoirs, pump stations, and regulator stations. It also allows plant operators, wastewater collection personnel, and distribution personnel to control the plants and control the systems under their purview. The system allows trending and troubleshooting of data occurring within those systems. It allows for remote operation of those systems so that operators may be away monitoring the system from home. It also provides reports for regulatory compliance. A shutdown or a failure of the system essentially cripples our ability to implement efficiencies in the operational areas of the department, which hold the line on costs. The city's earliest SCADA system was installed approximately 30 years ago, and this is a graphical display of system component upgrades that have occurred over time. So as you can see from this graphic, there were periods of time when not a lot was going on within the system, and then we had little fits and starts where some components were upgraded, but not very consistently, and there was no major overhaul that had occurred over this time. This is a picture of the existing wastewater treatment plant SCADA equipment. The WES equipment is by far the oldest in the system at approximately 30 years old. New equipment will standardize and modernize hardware and software, as well as communications between the remote sites. This project will replace all 108 PLCs, numerous cabinets and enclosures, and update communication equipment to fiber, 900 megahertz radio, and microwave. These are some of the screenshots of the cartoon animation that will be typical of the user interface. The programming component of the project this evening alone will keep approximately 8 to 10 programmers busy full-time for approximately 18 months. The engineer's estimate for the project is $9.7 million, and tonight's action considers both the construction and the construction management, total project cost of $8.6 million. We did have a bid opening in November and received 3 bids. There was 1 bid that was thrown out due to an adding error. Today's requested action is to award a contract for $8 million to Technical Systems Incorporated for the construction component of the system, and award a contract for $588,000 to Rockwell Construction for construction management and inspection services. And with that, I'll take any questions.
Thank you very much. Have a seat at sidebar, and we'll see if there's any questions. Any public on
No
this?
public on this
Thank you.
item.
We'll go back to the council. Mr. Kern, please.
Thank you. Yeah, if my colleagues remember over the last few months, it seems like we had some type of SCADA item on our agenda almost at least monthly, if not more. So we've been putting Band-Aids on this for quite a while. So this is kind of welcome that we finally overhauled the whole system. You know, it is pretty old in the thing. So I'm going to move approval.
Thank you very much. Have a second? Thank you very much. With that, Mr. Feller?
The last time I saw that type of SCADA equipment besides at the Louise plant was in Yuma at their facility, and I just thought, this looks like it came out of the 40s, some of this stuff. So I hope they're upgrading over there because they affect us too. So anyway, I think technology's coming. Science is something I can't even imagine. So it's easy to support the new things that are coming along.
Thank you. With that information, please vote.
Motion is approved, 4-0.
Thank you. Gary, welcome back.
Yes. Item number 14 is adoption of a resolution authorizing a budget appropriation not to exceed $3,090,170 from the Wastewater Enterprise Fund to the Water Enterprise Fund for the purpose of paying off the balance of the 2008 Water Enterprise loan, and authorization for the Financial Services Director or designee to take all necessary actions to complete the transfer of funds to pay off the loan.
Gary.
I feel like I was just here. Good evening, Honorable Mayor and council members. This item is to consider an action which would fully pay back a 2008 loan from the Water Fund to the Wastewater Fund. This loan was necessary to fund emergency work to replace a section of the sewer line outfall which had failed in early 2008. And shortly after that time, council approved a loan from the Water Fund to the Sewer Fund in the amount of $4.3 million. The loan was necessary because the Sewer Fund at that time did not have the amount of funds that were needed to conduct the repair. In fact, when I looked back at the staff report from that time, it said that the funds would not be available until 2011 or 2012. So when the loan was approved, the repayment terms included annual principal and interest of about $300,000 per year payable from the Sewer Fund back to the Water Fund for a loan term of 25 years. And incidentally, this November, during the rate hearings, council discussed approving a plan to repay this loan as part of the rate actions. It was informally discussed in the action, but there was no formal action within the staff report. Prepaying the loan has the following advantages. It provides a one-time influx of cash into the Water Enterprise Fund, which is a good thing when our revenues are lower during the time of drought and we have lower water use in the community. It reduces the interest paid from the Wastewater Enterprise Fund of over $1.4 million. So there's a savings for the Wastewater Fund. And although council's consistent support of rate increases in the past improves our credit position considerably, paying off this loan further improves the position of the sewer utility to issue bonds which are likely to be needed in the coming years. As of today, the outstanding balance is a little over $3 million, and funds for repayment will come from the unrestricted fund balance in the sewer operating fund. Funds will be paid back to the Water Connection Fees Fund, which pays for water expansion projects such as the recycled water system. And with that, I will take any questions.
Well, thank you. See it again, sidebar.
No public on this item.
No public on this back. Councilmember Kern, please.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. We've always been concerned about the wastewater fund, obviously with what happened with Mesa Drive, and, you know, we have, I think, a ticking time bomb in some sections of the city. The wastewater reserve, where are we on those if we pay back this loan? You know, the finance director, I asked the finance question, we get the finance director. So.
It's working. Good evening, Honorable Mayor and council members. I'm Jane McPherson, Financial Services Director. Currently, the sewer operating or wastewater operating fund has in available reserves of $13.3 million, which are more than adequate to repay this.
Okay, thank you, because that's my concern, because I'm sure that we're going to have another Mesa Drive someplace along the line. It's not a matter of if, but when. I just want to make sure we have sufficient. But we can always come back and borrow money from the water, right? Because water, how healthy is water? The water.
Water overall has sufficient reserves of over $7 million, so they are more affected by the water usage right now, so it's very timely to have the funds transferred.
All right, well, thank you. I move adoption of the resolution authorizing the appropriation from the wastewater to the water operating budget.
Second. Okay. Jack? The second there, and Mr. Feller.
I just wanted to make one correction on our staff report. It was reviewed by Deanna Larson, Assistant City Attorney. And that might not be right.
Yeah.
Unless you did something.
We changed your job title.
Yeah, I didn't tell you about that.
Okay,
No.
well, thank you. So
Manager.
anyway, you probably want to change that. Thank you.
Please vote.
Motion is approved, 4-0.
Thank you very much. Let me get a fair moment. Item 15, please.
Yes. Item number 15 is the introduction of an ordinance to amend the Oceanside City Code by adding Article 6 to Chapter 20, prohibiting the display, sale, distribution, possession, and use of synthetic drugs, including psychoactive cannabinoids, cathinones, and other novel intoxicating synthetic drugs, and any derivative of analog thereof, as well as mislabeled, misbranded products containing psychoactive substances within the city of Oceanside.
Thank you very much. With that, Chief, how are you?
Honorable Mayor, Deputy Mayor, council members, good evening. The police department is fully supportive of this ordinance. We think it would be good for our community. Just a little bit about what spice and these other types of synthetic drugs are. They are a synthetic, lost my spot here. Sorry, they're a synthetic cannabis. Typically, these substances are sold in as herbal incense, bath salts, plant food, jewelry cleaner, iPod cleaner, scratch removers, and they're labeled not for consumption. However, folks do consume these, and when they do consume these type of products, it's been documented to cause hallucinations, agitation, aggression, suicidal and homicidal ideations, cannibalism, and death. We don't think these are good to be in our community, and we fully recommend that you support this ordinance. I do have a gentleman here from the DEA that is an expert in this field and would be happy to answer any specific questions that you may have.
Thank you, Chief. Could you introduce him, please?
Sure. Would Special Agent Rick Moore please come forward?
Thank you, Special Agent. We'd like to get you on TV.
Good evening, Mayor, council members.
Any particular aspect? I know for a while we were trying to get this through, and we're hoping that the federal system would pick it up. But I know now that it's going to be up to each local agency to get this involved. Any recommendations? We have speakers later, but any comments you'd like to put?
The federal government is doing anything and everything they can to keep ahead of this game. The problem is the molecular structure of these chemicals keep changing daily, which makes them legal, non-prosecutable. So with an ordinance like this, that would put an end to that and stop a lot of the overdoses that we've been seeing in downtown San Diego and starting up here in North County.
Thank you very much. Have a seat at the sidebar with this good-looking crew, and we'll have some public in a little while.
Yes, at this time, Aaron Bizak may come forward.
Good evening, Honorable Mayor, City Council members. My name is Aaron Bizak, and I'm here tonight representing my employer, University of California, San Diego Health. And I'm here to read into the record a letter that was produced for you by Dr. Richard Clark, who is the head of the Poison Control Center at UC San Diego. If I may. Honorable Mayor and City Council members, the reason for my letter today is to provide important medical and scientific information related to the dangers of synthetic drugs such as spice and bath salts. I hope that you will find this information useful as you consider policies that can mitigate the impact of these substances. As a point of background, my name is Dr. Richard Clark, and I'm the medical director of the San Diego Division of the California Poison Control System at UC San Diego, UCSD. I oversee the medical toxicology consult and admitting service at UC San Diego Medical Centers in Hillcrest and La Jolla. I also serve as medical director of pharmacy and chairman of the Pharmacy and Therapeutics Committee at UCSD, and then vice chair of the UCSD Department of Emergency Medicine. Additionally, I am co-editor of the toxicology section of the Journal of Emergency Medicine. My research interests include drugs of abuse, analgesics, and envenomations. There we go, I messed it up, whatever. Based on my years of experience and scientific knowledge in the field, I offer the following information related to synthetic drugs. And you're going to hear some of the things that the chief mentioned briefly. Spice is the street name that is used for a variety of synthetic marijuana products. These chemicals are often sold over the internet or in smoke shop stores as liquids or sprays that can be applied to cigarettes or some other smokable material. In some situations, in some individuals, the results of being under the influence of these synthetic marijuana products can lead to convulsions, coma, violent and paranoid behavior, and sometimes death. Bath salts are a crystalline form of methamphetamine-like stimulants that can lead to the same violent, agitated behavior, paranoia, and psychosis, convulsions, and other life-threatening effects seen with other methamphetamine products. These drugs can also be bought online or in head shop stores, sometimes legally. Chemists that make both of these products have been able to synthesize new forms of each that can evade law enforcement for months or years as the new chemical goes through the process of being made illegal. Emergency department visits from both of these groups of drugs have increased significantly over the past few years. Both in the California Poison Control System and emergency departments around the county see intermittent epidemics of patients under the influence of these drugs as new and more dangerous ones are released to the market. Along with increasing education about the adverse effects of these dangerous drugs, controlling the sale or possession of them would be an important step towards fighting their use. I hope that you find this information helpful as you consider policies to protect our communities. Respectfully, Dr. Richard Clark, Director, UCSD, Division of Medical Toxicology. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
I would also note that we have a number of supporters of this ordinance, including Oceanside Unified School District, Oceanside Chamber of Commerce, Main Street Oceanside, Boys and Girls Club of Oceanside, Vista Community Clinic, North County Lifeline, Mental Health Systems, McAllister Institute, North Coastal Prevention Coalition, the San Diego Alliance for Drug-Free Youth, and San Marcos Prevention Coalition. Thank you.
Thank you. I see a large group over here. Are you going to be introduced later or are you going to
You guys are with us, right?
Yeah.
Yes, they are.
Stand up, let us
They
be
will
seen. Please, stand up. Come on. Thank you. I'll get you on camera. That's important. Anyhow, thank you very much.
Great. Next, we have Bill Perno.
Good evening, Honorable Mayor and City Council. My name is William Perno. I'm an alcohol and other drug prevention specialist, and I work for the Institute for Public Strategies. We are a nonprofit that's funded by the County of San Diego to do alcohol and other drug prevention work with communities. I'm also a retired San Diego County Deputy Sheriff. I'm here tonight to support the North Coastal Prevention Coalition with technical assistance to the City Council of Oceanside in regards to synthetic drugs, also known as new psychoactive substances. I do not have a position for or against this ordinance. I do have expertise regarding synthetic cannabinoids, spice, and synthetic stimulants, bath salts, and have been working with communities to address the harm from synthetic drugs since 2011. This includes law enforcement agencies throughout California. I became involved when these drugs were being sold next to my daughter's middle school when she was in 7th grade. And working as a grassroots community group, our assembly member in Chula Vista authored on our behalf the bill that banned sales of bath salts in California in 2011. I'm able to share with you best practices other communities have taken to address the harm from synthetic drugs. I also, as you can see, have samples of actual synthetic drug packaging for you to view to see how the existing laws are being circumvented. There are existing state laws regarding sales and possession of synthetic drugs, as well as federal legislation. However, as you've heard, these laws, it's difficult to keep up to date and with those ever-changing formulas, and there are some areas the laws and ordinances can be improved. Prosecutors and city attorneys have had to resort to other existing laws instead of the state laws for synthetic drugs because of those challenges, and unfair business practices is an example of one of those laws being used to address retail sales of these drugs. Many times the substances that are identified as synthetic drugs are not covered under the state laws because of those ever-changing formulas. And the clandestine chemists, as you've heard, drug manufacturers, they stay steps ahead of that, of those laws. The laws in California have not been updated since they were first passed in 2011 for those definitions. These local ordinances, though, they give police and city governments the ability and the tools to take action against those who are selling new psychoactive substances or synthetic drugs that are not covered under existing state law, and by doing so, there's an increase in community safety. These ordinances can close those loopholes that exist, and they can address the deliberate mislabeling of products to avoid Food and Drug Administration regulation. For example, selling products as incense or potpourri or bath salts, mislabeling the drugs to mirror legitimate products. In 2015, it was the highest year on record across the country for calls to poison control centers for synthetic cannabinoids or spice, with 7,779 calls. Perception of harm is lowest amongst 8th, 10th, and 12th graders, with only 24 to 26% of that youth perceiving great risk or harm from using spice once or twice. There's also this perception that if the product is being sold in a retail setting on a store shelf, it must be safe, or the business wouldn't be allowed to sell it. Closing, I would say that there are ways people ingest these drugs, including through the use of vaporizers or e-cigarettes in liquid forms. And please be mindful that these ever-changing chemical formulas are going to need to be have updates in your ordinance to keep up with those changes. And when the formulas change again, to stay a step ahead. There are also plant-based versions of synthetic drugs. One drug known as kratom has sometimes replaced these synthetic drugs in the community. And I applaud, in closing, your willingness to take action to keep the city of Oceanside safe. And I encourage you to work with your partners, including the North Coastal Prevention Coalition. And thank you for your time. I'm happy to answer any questions.
Thank you. Next, we have Yoli Delgado and Jessica Solano.
Ron, you can stand behind them, be on camera. That's what you're here for, and that's important. Come on up here. You can spread all the way over to the second mic.
Good evening, Honorable Mayor and City Council members. My name is Yoli Delgado, and I'm a student at Oceanside High School. I'm here on the behalf of the North Coastal Prevention Youth Coalition, Be the Resistance Club, and El Camino's Rise Above Club. We feel that we are here in support of this ordinance because we feel that it will help clear up the misinformation being shared amongst young people in our communities. And along with my peers, we feel that this ordinance will help create a safer and healthier place for myself and my friends. We need strong policies that help us stop the expansion of synthetic drugs in our communities, because many of our students at our high schools say that it is easily obtainable, and many of them have said that they have tried it. We feel that policies like this will help reduce the access of these products to young people like me, and consequently to the upcoming generations. Thank you.
Good evening.
Hold the mic down a little bit. Are you there?
Okay. Good evening. I'm Jessica Solano. I don't want synthetic drugs to be in my campus or my community because I have younger siblings and I wouldn't want them to be exposed to this dangerous product. I have often seen these products being sold at liquor stores, markets, and gas stations. Today, I even visited a gas station where I realized that these products were an easy view to anybody. I have also been a witness of the harmful effects that these products have had on a family member of mine, and I wouldn't want other youth to go down the road that my family member went through. I believe that now is the time to change our community and make it more healthy and safe for our youth. So please consider this ordinance. Thank you.
Last speaker, thank you very much. I appreciate you being here and letting us know at street level what you think about it. I do appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Thank you. No further public on this item.
Thank you very much. Chief, and any other specialists at sidebar? Any other further comments?
Just Honorable Mayor, Deputy Mayor, and council members, as you can see from the packaging that was presented there, you can see it is marketing our youth and our community. It's made attractive for them to view and want to buy. And that is the biggest folks that we want to try to prevent using this type of synthetic drug.
Finished? Thank you. With that, Mr. Kern, please.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. A couple of comments. Reading the staff report, I felt like I was back in college at organic chemistry class. And, you know, the idea that all of these lists upon lists, and Annie, thank you for compiling these lists and doing it. I know you worked really hard on this. My question is probably directed towards the special agent. As these things come down the line, is there some notification that the feds are going to send to our local law enforcement, say, here's another example? And then I guess the follow-up question would be the city attorney. Once we have another identified drug, do we just amend this ordinance by adding that onto the list?
The federal government is doing everything that they can to outlaw these compounds. The problem we have is DEA has the power to emergency classify some of these chemicals, which is what we're having to do. But by the time that emergency stipulation goes through, they've already changed the molecular structure of the next product that's being sold. So it's a catch-up for us. We're always months or years behind this. Our lab up in North County here is doing everything that they can to figure out, if possible, what the next molecular structure is going to look like or be. But there's so many different variations out there that, all we can do is the emergency scheduling.
Thank you. And then, Mr. City Attorney.
Right. Ms. Perigo drafted this ordinance anticipating that the molecular structure could be changed with some of these compounds. So any derivative of these is also illegal. It's a very broad definition. So we don't anticipate, and you correct me if I'm wrong, that we're going to have to come back and amend this ordinance. You have 30 pages of chemicals that have been identified, and any derivative of that would be illegal as well. So we would have a lot of tools available to us to pursue criminal, civil, or administrative remedies against those who sell these substances.
And I guess the next one is probably the city attorney and the chief. I have a feeling this is going to pass tonight. So once this passes, are we going to put these people on notice that in 30 days we are going to come back and our second reading? And then at that time, when does it go into effect? I'm asking. And then once it goes into effect, how does the police department get the word out?
Well, in terms of its effective date, at our next meeting, we will have the adoption, and then it'll be effective 30 days thereafter. Chief, Randy, if you want to talk about, some of them are already aware of it, I know that. Some of them are already the subject of enforcement actions by the district attorney's office. But in terms of this office, or information to them, I'll defer to you.
And we will do education on our end with the businesses in our community, so they're aware that this ordinance will be going into effect.
Yeah, and hopefully the press will cover this and let everybody know what we're doing on this. So with that, I'm going to move introduction of the ordinance and adding Article 6 to Chapter 20 of the Oceanside City Code to entitled Synthetic Drugs and the mislabeled, misbranded products containing psychoactive substances, display, sale, distribution, possession, and use prohibited.
Thank you. Second? Okay, Mr. Feller, please.
So, once the bad guys are made aware of this, I guess I'm trying to figure out how are we going to know when this stuff is back on their shelves? I mean, is there some way of preventing this totally, or are we going to have to re-inspect every gas station and store in the city every 2 months or something like that? I mean, I'm seeing that they're conniving on their side, trying to figure out new ways to use this. What's the preventing factor there that will keep them out of business, or is there?
Honorable Mayor, Deputy Mayor, Council members, I wish there was an easy answer for that, Councilman Feller. There are numerous ways to obtain these type of substances. What we're trying to do is we're trying to make it as difficult as possible for them to obtain these substances here in our community. And the best way for us is to use this ordinance. And as far as how will we know, well, we'll know in a couple of different ways. If we do find someone under the influence of this substance, finding out where they purchased it or obtained it, we do have our special enforcement section that deal with this type of material that will go out and do inspections, and they will go out and try to buy these type of compounds from different businesses in our community to ensure that they are complying with our ordinance.
And a follow-up, what places currently have this? I mean, is there a list somewhere that these items are sold right now?
There's a number of businesses in our community that I believe would partake in this type of substance, and we do have those businesses identified. They will be ones that we do educate if this ordinance does pass, that we will personally educate as to the fact that this ordinance will be going into effect.
Okay. I think it's a great thing that we're doing this because of I think you referred to, Special Agent, cases in San Diego where some very severely injured, even I think a couple of deaths from it, if I'm recalling the news. So I think this is a serious problem, much different than some of the other things that we have. But I'm glad we've got a leg up here in this point, and I appreciate Annie and all the work that your department and Annie and everybody has gone through to get this. I know there's some very concerned parents in the community that have talked to me about this in the past, so this is a good thing.
Mr. City Attorney, please.
Okay, I do again want to thank Annie for all the work she's done on this. This is a tremendous ordinance that's extraordinarily detailed. So this is the introduction of an ordinance of the City Council of the City of Oceanside, adding Article 6 to Chapter 20 of the Oceanside City Code, prohibiting the display, sales, distribution, possession, and use of synthetic drugs and mislabeled, misbranded products containing psychoactive substances within the City of Oceanside.
Please vote.
Motion approved, 4-0.
Thank you.
Honorable Mayor, may I make one comment before you close this out?
Please, go ahead.
I also wanted to personally thank Senior Deputy City Attorney Perigo for the work that she did. As you can look through this ordinance, you can see that there was a tremendous amount of work that was completed with this, and she did an outstanding job. From the police department's perspective, we would like to thank her for the work that she did.
First off, I think that's wonderful. However, I want to thank all of you, and you too, Annie, everybody in the back, I know you are, and thank you for coming up and speaking for the children. That level, and I appreciate it, and thank you all. We're going to be breaking for a little bit to give you time to leave, okay? Thank you very much. Just a couple of minutes. We'll start again. Mr. Clerk, if we could move on and do item number 24, okay?
Yes, item number 24 is quarterly budget update and mid-year adjustments.
Good evening, Honorable Mayor and council members. Jane McPherson, I'm the Financial Services Director. I'm here tonight to provide a financial status report and mid-year adjustments for the second quarter ending December 31st, 2015. Action requested tonight is we're submitting the second quarter financial status report as an information-only item. However, there is approval needed of the mid-year adjustments, which were included in the report for the end budget transfers.
This person might go back in the back and ascertain it.
The summary of general fund of activity for the second quarter ending December 31st, 2015. Right, currently, our revenues are below our current expenditures. This is normal for this time of year because we do earn our property taxes unevenly throughout the year. In fact, I just checked the January month end, and we're actually now ahead because of the way the payments come in. These are the top three general fund revenues. Property tax, and these three represent 59% of total. Property tax is 29% of our total budgeted revenues. Sales tax, 27%. Transit occupancy tax, 54%. As I said earlier, they are received unevenly throughout the year, so they are consistent with prior year, and we are on track to meet budget this year. In the report, I recommended mid-year adjustments. There's a $233,000 increase to general fund revenue budgets. This is due to changes in plan check and other revenue related to development services and some revenue related to our TOT. There's a $76,000 decrease to general fund expenditure budgets, and a net increase of $576,000 to non-general fund expenditures, which include our capital accounts, which there's a couple of entries that make most of that up. I'm available to answer any questions you may have.
Thank you. One more time, sidebar. We'll wait and see if there's any questions. And City Manager, please.
Honorable Mayor and council members, just to clarify, we are asking you to take action on this item. It's not an information-only item. We would like you to approve the adjustments that were provided by Ms. McPherson.
Let's do it. Well,
And there's no public on this item. No public on this item.
no, but make a motion. Mr. Kern.
Since this is informational only, there's no is there anything we should be looking at? Is there something out here that concerns you, year over year? Is there something that we need to put a watch on to find out what's going on?
We continue to monitor closely the sales tax revenues right now. They have been relatively flat. Property tax has been consistently growing. We always get the 2% increase. So we always watch those two as being the top. TOT, if we continue to grow in our hotel rooms, we've been seeing some great growth, but we're going to have a little lapse in the hotel rooms growing in the next couple of years till the next round of hotels come in. The enterprise funds, we are watching the water funds due to the drought and the reduction in revenues, and I know Carrie and her team are watching it very closely as well.
Well, I know sales tax leakage has been a real issue for City of Oceanside for as long as I can remember, so I know that's something we ought to keep mindful of. So, anyway, thank you.
You want a motion on this, please?
Is there a motion? I thought it was just, I move that we approve it or accept it or whatever.
And a second?
I thought it was informational.
Much. And Mr. Feller, please.
Get it.
Yeah, I did.
What are we doing?
Go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, thank you. I didn't get how 54% of TOT is, that number doesn't seem right for the total revenue generated, it's higher than sales tax and property tax.
Let me just check the slide. Well, what I'm saying in that statement, and I can clarify it for you, is that we're at 54% of what has been budgeted for transit occupancy tax for the year.
I looked at that and I said,
Yeah, how could it be
doesn't
more
add
than the
up
sales tax?
to-
I understand.
That means we got San Diego's hotels taxed by mistake.
We have had a lot of
Okay.
growth.
That's all I needed. Thank you. I second whatever.
Yeah, it was secondary. Please vote.
Motion approved, 4-0.
And also, could we have the council reports, please?
Yes, Mayor Wood.
Yes, make it short. On February 4th, we unveiled the Big Heart at the start of Valentine's Day Festival in Oceanside, and also the 1st Marine Division's 75th anniversary dinner. We had the largest blow-up balloon in the United States. Shows that Oceanside has a big heart. I appreciate everybody involved in that. Also on the February 12th, the involvement of Oceanside Insulation, we were at that, and that was enjoyable. They're going to be in later to be introduced to the public, the involved men. And on the 14th, I was involved in judging the costumes for the Valentine's Day 5th K run, and I enjoyed that. Some interesting outfits. That's all I have. That's it right now.
Deputy Mayor Lowry.
Thank you, Clerk Beck. I just wanted to acknowledge an event that a friend of mine from the Arts Commission, formerly on the Arts Commission when I was on it, Karen Williams Graham, is supporting a fundraiser for the Rory Graham Jr. Foundation. Rory is her late son, who was killed in an accident a few summers ago at a summer camp up north. Anyway, there's a fundraising luncheon on March 26th at the El Camino Country Club, and for more information you can look up his name online, Rory, R-O-R-Y, Graham, Graham, jr.org, and take a look if you're interested in tickets or want more information about that foundation. Anyway, it's March 26th. That's a date change from the original date, so it's in a few weeks. Thank you.
Councilmember Feller.
Thank you. We had, again, that was a great week for Parks and Rec, Visit Oceanside. I think I'm in several of those hearts, but you can't really see people in them. It's just a mass of red. The OPD had a swearing in of 4 or 5 new officers and some great additions in their in dispatch. The fire department had 12 graduates on last Thursday. That was impressive. They all look like they're the same person. You know, they're just cut out of a cookie cutter, but very strong looking. Coffee with the cops tomorrow morning at 8 o'clock at the chamber offices. The GI Forum has a mariachi concert at Vance on Saturday at 6 o'clock. Seroptimus has a salad luncheon on next Tuesday, the 24th, Wednesday, whatever day the 24th is, at 11:30, and I'm sure there's still tickets left for that. And the chamber has enlisted recognition on the 25th at the Veteran Center. But tonight I'd like to wish all the birthdays of this month for my grandchildren and my daughter. Jacob turned 15. Noah turns 13 today. Hannah turns 2 on Saturday, and my daughter Jessica turns not a determined age. I know when she was born, but I don't think I should tell it to everybody. So anyway, happy birthday to all my family. So,
Councilmember Kern.
First of all, if KOCT can take a picture of the overhead, this Saturday is the book sale for the Friends of the Library. I really need you guys to come out and buy as many books as possible so I don't have to move them afterwards. So I don't want to schlep more books. I have to put them out on Friday. I just don't want to box them up on Sunday. So please come to the book sale. In that same light, the volunteer appreciation for the Friends of the Library was this last week. It was pretty well attended. It was really, really a great event. We cannot survive in this town without all our volunteers. Not just the library, but our police department, our fire department, our Parks and Rec. Every department we have volunteers, and we couldn't operate without the volunteer force that we have. So I really do appreciate everything that they've done for the library and for the city. And the only other thing that I would like to highlight is last week I attended the graduation of Canine Companions, where the dogs were matched with the owners, the people that have special needs, that need special, that have assistance dogs. Last Thursday, the dogs were given to the owners to take home. And we had people come as far away as Utah and Texas to get their dogs. So Canine Companions was out by Ivy Ranch Park. It's really important for them, and it's really a great event. They do really a lot of great work there. So thank you.
Thank you very much. One last thing before we take a break. Item number 25, please, through the city attorney.
Item 25 is the adoption of an ordinance of the City Council of the City of Oceanside, California, amending Article 14, Section 14 and 14.1 of the Oceanside Traffic Code to establish speed limits on various streets.
Move approval.
No public on this item.
Second.
Thank you. Please vote. I don't, no.
No public. Motion is approved 4-0.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. We take about a 10-minute break to get things set up for the second half of the council. Be back here in 10 minutes, please. Thank you very much. You again? My daughter has 2 indictments. That's not funny. You applied for her? Oh, yeah. The funny thing is they Second half of our city council meeting, and we could, if you have any phones or pagers, put them on silent or vibrant. I appreciate that. We have some presentations to start off with. I'll have my aide explain some things to you, and then we'll get started. Thank you.
Please stand for the invocation and Pledge of Allegiance. Tonight's invocation will be given by City Clerk Zach Beck, who is also youth pastor for the Fields Church.
Please join me in bowing your heads. Father, we come before you to say thank you. Thank you for the privilege, the blessing, the honor it is to reside here in the city of Oceanside. We come together tonight as a diverse community, a community of different backgrounds, different beliefs, different presence, and different futures, yet one common goal, and that is the betterment of the city. We come together tonight to seek your guidance, wisdom, and discernment during the deliberations that transpire this evening, and in doing so we lift up Councilmember Feller, Councilmember Kern, Councilmember Sanchez, Deputy Mayor Lowry, and Mayor Wood. May you grant them peace and wisdom during the discussions and decisions they have to make this evening that will further better the city of Oceanside. And in closing, in request by Dorothy McCorkle in the city of Oceanside, may we lift up all of the pets who suffer abuse within the city of Oceanside as well. May you grant them peace and their owners better provision for them. We say all these things in your precious name. Amen.
Tonight's Pledge of Allegiance will be led by OPD Explorer Abigail Celestino.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please be seated. Thank you, Colin. I want to thank the explorers. They come and do the Pledge of Allegiance and volunteer and help a lot in the city of Oceanside with the future, maybe in law enforcement. I thank you very much.
Next, we have the MLK Junior Community Service Award presentation. Would the following individuals please come forward when I call your name? Marjorie Pierce, Housing and Neighborhood Services Director. Robert Mikule, Chairman of the Oceanside Housing Commission. Edith Jones, 2016 Martin Luther King Jr. Community Service Award winner. I would also like to call forward former winners of this award who are present this evening. Harold Cutler, Lillian Adams, Charles Adams, Janet Bledsoe Lacey, Terry Johnson, Ray Clendenning. On January 18th, Edith Jones was named as the 2016 recipient of the City of Oceanside Martin Luther King Jr. Community Service Award at the annual commemoration celebration hosted by the North San Diego County branch of the NAACP and the City of Oceanside. Ms. Jones has been a stalwart volunteer for our local nonprofit organizations. As a member of Seroptimus International, Oceanside Carlsbad, she has dedicated her time and talent to several fundraising events benefiting programs designed to improve the lives of local women and girls. Since becoming a member of the North County African American Women's Association, she has introduced the organization and community to the Authors Garden Tea Party, Grooving on the Green, a New Year's Eve Gala, and Marching on the 4th. She also has served on the NCAAWA Board of Directors for several years and as board president for the past 2. Edith has been a member of the Board of Directors of the Women's Resource Center for the past 6 years. She donates her time and resources to support continuation of the many programs offered by WRC that benefit the women and children who are victims of domestic violence. Edith has also donated or provided at greatly reduced rates her photography skills to the Boys and Girls Clubs of Oceanside, the Friends of the Oceanside Public Library, KOCT Community Television, NCAAWA, North County Health Services, North County Philanthropic Council, Seroptimus International Oceanside Carlsbad, Vista Community Clinic, and many other local nonprofit organizations. The Community Service Award is an annual recognition given to a resident of the City of Oceanside, or MCB Camp Pendleton, who exemplifies the ideals and teachings of Dr. King and who has served the community in volunteer activities over a long period of time. Please join me in a round of applause for the 2016 MLK Junior Community Service Award winner, Edith Jones.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. She deserves it. Everywhere the council goes, she's there. We didn't recognize her tonight, but she didn't have a camera in her hand. We didn't recognize her. But the list of things she's done in town, wow. I think that's why we have everybody up here for you, including a couple of mayors, former Mayor Terry Johnson, everybody else, Mr. Cutler. Oh, it's wonderful to see you here. But anyhow, it's all for you. Thank you very much. I'll pass this mic.
Well, all I can say is that more mic. Okay, I'm used to a camera. I can only say thank you very much. I truly am honored to be recognized. I don't do it for the recognition. When I help someone, it just gives me such a joy. So it's totally selfish on my part because it enlightens me and it makes my day so much better. So I just truly hope that I can continue to help others because I'll be helping myself. Thank you.
Earlier in the meeting, I heard, I think it was Jack, say that Oceanside is a city with a big heart. I can tell you after 33 years of engagement, the city does have a big heart.
Edith, we're just very lucky and very proud to have you as part of the recipients of this marvelous award, and we could not have had a better recipient. Thank you. Thank you for all you do.
I just want to say to our little Energizer Bunny, how proud the women of North County African American women are that you are part of us and that we are part of you. Thank you, Edith, for all that you do in this community.
I just want to make one point, and that is that, and I just said that to you directly, that you have a smile all the time. You can't tell what a warrior-esque you are inside, and you make things happen, and you deserve this times 10. So thank you for everything that you do for Oceanside.
Thank you, Mayor. And on behalf of all the other recipients in the past, Edith, we want to say thank you and God bless you. It's well deserved. Well deserved.
No, I thank you Edith, for everything you do. I mentioned earlier about the volunteers, that we cannot function in this city without them, so we really do appreciate you. But I'm not going to let Malcolm get away with just sitting in the back You've got to stand up. Stand up. Come on. No. Oh, come on down. That wasn't the Malcolm I was referring to, but that's good. Hey, I'm glad you came. And as long as we have a couple seconds here, Max. That's good. No, that's fine. Malcolm likes to sit back there, but Malcolm, come on up for the picture at least. Okay, I think Max.
Edith, I am so proud on behalf of the Housing Commission to see you receive this award. And I just wanted to mention that one thing I do know about you is that you're known as the cheese lady at Brother Benno's for always making sure that there's plenty of Parmesan cheese for their spaghetti meals on Saturday.
Briefly, congratulations. It was very exciting to see you receive the award at the breakfast a few weeks ago, and I was really proud to be there. Thank you.
I just wanted to congratulate you. God has blessed this community so much with great people, and I know that this is a real star in your crown of giving to the ones that need it most. Thank you.
Edith, my friend, I'm just so excited that you are being honored for all of the work you have accomplished in this city. And I don't think you've been here any more than 10 or 11 years. And you have done much more than those who've been in town 30 and 40 years. And we are just so excited for you. Thanks for all you do.
No need for a special photograph unless you're doing them here, but thank you very much. One more time, please. A round of applause for a special person.
Next, we have the Mayor's Business Member Spotlight. Would the following members of the Oceanside Chamber of Commerce please come forward? David Nidegger, President and CEO. Josh Van Orden, Board Member. And Business Member Spotlight Representatives Emily Chrisman and Nina Fletcher from the Dell Military and Education Outreach Program.
Honorable Mayor, I want to thank you again for allowing the Chamber of Commerce to come down and recognize one of our business members. We're very pleased this month that we're honoring the Dell Military, both Emily Chrisman and Nina Fletcher. They're spouses of active duty military. In fact, Emily's husband's in Okinawa as we speak, right? And your husband just recently returned from Okinawa, too, from deployment. So Dell Military is an organization that supports computer technology for the military on the base at Camp Pendleton. And they provide technical support. They provide discounts on computers. and helping out the military. And I guess if you would teach me how to Facebook and do all that kind of stuff, I could learn that too, right? Very, very good. They've been great members of our Military Affairs Committee, and Josh is the chairman of that committee. Josh, thank you for all that stuff. But on behalf of the Chamber of Commerce, I'd like to give you this award, our certificate of appreciation, to Emily Christman and Nina Fletcher of Dell Military. So thank you very, very much. And that's our presentation. Thank you.
I know it's a wonderful thing. Ladies, thank you for doing a big deal, helping people like us who don't know anything about cell phones and computers. We always have to turn around and ask a 12-year-old to help us. But anyhow, thank you very much. The other thing I wanted to mention, that this young gentleman, we get confused. Everybody thinks I'm him and vice versa because we look alike. Big bodies and all that stuff. He's huge. Anyhow, we want to thank you, and a moment, if I could, pass the mic.
So I'll just say something really quickly on behalf of Emily and myself. With this theme of Oceanside has a big heart, it's amazing how inviting and embracing you guys are as a community. As military spouses, we're only here temporarily, but you guys definitely give us a really warm welcome, and we're extremely appreciative. So thank you.
Yeah, we just really love being a part of Oceanside and being a part of the Oceanside Chamber of Commerce. We've done a lot of networking, and we love how welcoming everyone is, and we love being a part of the community. So this is such an honor. Thank you.
Just really quickly, I just wanted to say thank you for all the contributions to the Military Affairs Committee, not only through Dell, but also their service and support for the servicemen that are out there. They're both very involved in different programs, helping them out when they're gone and when they come home. So thank you for that. And there's a method in our madness to being so nice to you guys, because we want you to come back and stay here when you get out. Okay? We want this to be your home.
We want to thank that you help all the men and the women out north of us at that wonderful location, Camp Pendleton. Our heroes, truly. Let's hear from you, ladies and gentlemen. Could we have the city attorney explain closed session if there's any comments?
Thank you. The City Council met in closed session to discuss item 1 on the agenda, conference with labor negotiator involving the Oceanside Police Officers Association non-sworn, Oceanside Fire Association, Oceanside Fire Management Association, Western Council of Engineers, and MECO as well. There is no action to report that item.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Item 22, anything public?
Yes, we have 3 members of the public wishing to speak on item number 22. First, we have Lisa Hamilton. Second, we have Dirk Akama. And third, we have Victor Roy.
Thank you.
Good evening, Mayor, council members, and people in Oceanside who are watching this on television. I'd like to speak to you tonight on the issue of digital electronic billboards. We thought this issue was gone away when the council voted against it, 3-2 last June, and there was heavy public lobbying against digital signs. Now the issue is coming back again. There are 2 applications in for digital billboards, one for a sign on Route 78 at Rancho Del Oro, and a second for a sign on Route 76 at Airport Boulevard. These signs will be 40 feet tall and 18 by 30 feet wide, and they will flash at approximately 4 to 6 second intervals if they're like other digital signs that we see around. Having heard about these applications, last weekend, I and several friends canvassed friends and neighbors, and with 3 people spending a few hours for 3 days, we managed to accumulate 210 petitions people signed against digital signs. There were a few people who said they didn't know quite enough about the issue to speak on it, but there was nobody who said they were all in favor of digital electronic signs. So why not have these signs? One of the chief reasons not to have these signs is for driving safety. They are meant to be distracting, to catch anybody's eye in the car, and that includes the driver. At night, they are so bright that they create a real vision impairment. For years now, Oceanside has fought its image of being a high-crime, trashy community. These signs play into that image. Look where they are installed, along the 405 on the way to LAX. So why have the signs? Money, of course. Some for the city, a lot for the developer. There must be some other way to raise money for Oceanside besides having digital signs. Please email, write, and contact your council member, and they may come in and see them. You can be sure that the developers are doing that. If you say nothing, that implies that you agree with these signs. Speak up now. Don't wait until they show up on the council as an agenda item. Thank you.
Thank you. Next, we have Dick Acema. Dirk Acema, sorry.
Good evening, Mayor Wood, City Council members. My name is Dirk Acema. I've been an Oceanside resident for the past 27 years. I currently own 4 properties, all within the city of Oceanside. Consequently, I'm a substantial property tax contributor to your rolls as well. Recently, it's come to my attention that the city is considering proposals to install these electronic billboards in various spots in the city. I am vehemently opposed to electronic billboards and flashing signage for several reasons. Vehicle and driver safety, light pollution and effects on surrounding ecosystems, but probably most importantly to me is the aesthetic concerns of littering our landscape with trashy, annoying, unsightly, exploitive advertising. Recently, I joined other volunteers last weekend to collect over 200 signatures of Oceanside residents and property owners who were also opposed to this type of development. It struck me to see the diversity of the people that were opposed to electronic billboards in the city of Oceanside. Property owners, renters, retired residents, and young mothers all expressed displeasure about seeing electronic billboards within the city of Oceanside. While I was doing the campaigning to get signatures to oppose this development, I conducted an informal poll amongst people I talked to. I determined that 92% of the people that I spoke to actually opposed electronic billboards. The remaining 8% had no opinion, and virtually no one was in favor of electronic billboards within the city of Oceanside. I hope when the city council considers these development plans that each council member will disclose whether they have a personal or friendly relationship and whether they have received campaign funding and or any other consideration from any of these developers that are proposing electronic billboards within the city of Oceanside. If any connection exists between a council member and a developer, either currently or in the past, I insist that that council member be removed from the vote to consider such development. Due to overwhelming opposition, I urge the City Council at this point to adopt a resolution to prohibit electronic billboards within the city to satisfy and assure residents that developers will not take advantage and destroy the charm which Oceanside enjoys. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Last, we have Victor Roy.
And good evening, Honorable Mayor and City Council members, staff. Victor Roy, Rancho San Luis Rey. I'm running for City Council this year. I'm here to express my thanks for the Valentine's Day event and the week-long event activities that took place to promote tourism, fitness, expressing goodwill, and bringing a lot of people together at the Civic Center Plaza. This culminated Valentine's Day this last Sunday. I worked on that event. We were pretty happy with the success of the event. As a board member of the Friends of Oceanside Parks and Recreation, I want to extend the thanks to the other participants that made this event happen. Jim Curl, who proposed the event, Main Street, the Chamber of Commerce, and all the people that came out, the volunteers that came out. We had a good time doing this event. We had great weather. The turnout was good, and we hope that this was a first-time event. We hope to put this event on year after year and put the best foot forward for our city, Oceanside. Thank you.
Thank you. No further public on this item.
Thank you very much. I think the next item that we have is 23, is that correct?
Yes.
Could you read that out, and I have a statement here.
Most definitely. Item number 23 is here public testimony regarding proposed formation of the Rancho Del Oro Street Lighting District 2016-1. Receive ballots from affected property owners, authorize the city clerk to initiate the counting of the ballots, and continue the public hearing to March 2nd, 2016. If necessary, in the event that property owners approve the formation of Lighting District 2016-1, consider adopting resolutions to declare intention to order the construction of the improvements, form Lighting District 201-1, approve the engineer's report confirming the diagram and assessments, and order the assessments to be levied for Lighting District 2016-1. Alternatively, in the event the property owners do not approve the formation of Lighting District 2016-1, adopt a resolution to declare the abandonment of the proceedings to form Lighting District 206-1.
Thank you very much. This is a public hearing, and I'm going to open that. Excuse me. Open the public hearing. Request exposures from the council members, starting with Mr. Feller, please.
Thank you. We've had staff. We've had this item before us for resolution for probably 3 years now, and this is the culmination of the work that's been done.
Staff and public.
Yeah, same thing. It's been going on for several years, and staff and some public input over different comments over several years. Thank you.
The same, and that would be, this was also in closed session. It was a topic, can't say what we discussed exactly, but we also talked about this in open session, so we've had several discussions at the dais with other council members and in the public.
Yeah, public, staff, we have had public meetings on this in the past.
Mr. Clerk, any correspondence, petitions?
Yeah, my office has worked in conjunction with staff and the consultant on this issue, and we've received ballots as well.
Thank you for staff. Thank you very much. Ed, I appreciate you being here. Thank you very much. It's a complicated issue. I have some statements to read later. Thank you. You can go for it.
Good evening, Honorable Mayor, City Council members, Douglas et al., Real Estate Manager, City of Oceanside. The proposed assessment district, if passed, provides a financing mechanism to replace and maintain 669 streetlights in the Rancho Del Oro area of Oceanside. In the past, when the area was developed, the developers installed streetlights that were not up to city standards, with the understanding that in the future, should those streetlights need replacement, the city would not be responsible for that. Over the years, as the streetlights deteriorated, the homeowners association representing the property owners in the Rancho del Oro area approached the city and asked the city to replace streetlights. Again, with no obligation to do so, the city staff met with the HOA and tried to work out some sort of solution so that the city would participate possibly in paying for some of the streetlights. The HOA rejected the city's options and insisted the city pay the entire obligation. When the city refused, the HOA took the city to court. The court, I believe it was Superior Court, ruled in favor of the city and said the city had no obligation to pay for the replacement of the streetlights. Notwithstanding this court judgment, the city staff continued to try and work something out with the HOA where the city could participate in some of the costs. And what you see before you is a proposed assessment lighting district. Under the proposed lighting district, the cost to replace the streetlights is approximately $2,600,000 as determined by our assessment engineer. Of that amount, $740,000 the city would be responsible for paying based on their pro rata share of general benefits for the major arterials, as well as a portion to upgrade the streetlights to LED. Of the remaining amount, roughly $1.9 million, that would be the responsibility of the property owners within the Rancho del Oro area. A typical single-family residential unit would pay in the neighborhood of $527, a one-time fee to replace the streetlights. In addition, they would also be voting to assess a $33.19 annual assessment to maintain the lights in the future. That $33.19 in essence replaces the current $15.80 annual assessment that a typical residential unit pays in the citywide lighting district. Should the measure fail and the process of voting be abandoned, staff would continue to remove the streetlights as they deteriorate, but that would be it. Any replacement would be on the burden of the homeowners association. I'll be happy to answer any questions. I also have the assessment engineer, Harrison Associates, here to answer any technical questions. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it. It's time to take testimony from the public. Mr. Clerk, are there speakers on this item?
There are no speakers currently, but we can invite the public to speak on this item. If any members of the public are here, wish to speak on this item, specifically this item, you may address the council for 3 minutes at this time. Yeah, you can come forward and speak.
Please. Good evening.
Either of them. Yeah.
Good evening, Mayor and council members and staff. Maybe you...
I'm having a little trouble hearing you. Could you pull the mic towards you?
Sure,
Move it
sure.
around. Thank you.
Okay, here we go. My name is Christine Carrera, and I don't know whether you know a lot of some of the answers to these questions, but I'm going to go ahead and ask, since it is sort of a new issue to you in terms of specifics. If the streetlight measure were to pass, first of all, do you have any idea at all how this might go from calls or emails from people from Rancho del Oro? If there's a lot of negativity, or is there some positive response? No.
Ma'am, you may want to put all your comments on the record, and then we can respond at the end of the testimony. But I can tell you, we are not allowed to open any of these ballots until the close of the public hearing.
Okay.
So if you're an owner and you have a ballot, you need to submit it before the close of this hearing. And that goes with everybody else.
Okay. Can I just ask you just briefly, if the street light measure were to pass, do you know, would the new ones go in exactly where they were before? In other words, I have decided to go ahead and vote for them, but I want to make sure that it's going to be, if I go ahead and pay for this, that it's somewhere close to our house. There are only 3, I believe, on Calle Sobrado, our street. And then I took a little tour of Village 2, and some streets have quite a few of them. Unfortunately, not on Calle Sobrado. So I was in favor of it and voted in favor of it, and you all probably have my ballot. But do you happen to know that, would they be placed in the same, I think there's a little stand where they were taken out. Any idea?
I don't know.
You don't know.
You can put all your questions right now, and then when the close of testimony, we'll respond to them.
All right, great. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Mayor, council members, Jimmy Knott, 127 Sherry Lane. A couple of questions I have is, being its consideration for the local region is carbon efficiency, does the city plan to use any solar in this? Not just Camp Pendleton has been using solar, and many other communities have been using solar for the street lights. Also, any other new efficient manners of lighting that have been developed? I was wondering, besides LED, has the city considered any of the other efficient methodologies? I would be interested in that as well, because the city is mandated to take and look at this with SANDAG as well with other agencies. Thank you.
Any other members of the public wishing to speak on this specific item may come forward to address the council at this time.
Good evening, members of City Council and Mayor. Is there a precedent for doing this? Has any other neighborhood had, private neighborhoods had public money underwriting street lamps or anything of that nature? And could this lead to opening a Pandora's box down the road, that any neighborhood can come forward and say, we want this paid for by the city? I am not one to, I'm for the quality of life in the city of Oceanside, but I'm not one to subsidize neighbors in different communities. So with that in mind, I just would like to know if there's a precedent that's ever been set for being able to help out residents of certain parts of the city. Thank you.
Thank you. Would any other members of the public like to speak on this item? You may come forward at this time. I see none.
I see none. If you could try to answer the two questions we had, either you or staff, I'd appreciate it.
Honorable Mayor, Doug Edow, Real Estate Manager, City of Oceanside. As to Ms. Correa's question, the streetlights, the new streetlights will go where the old streetlights were or will be removed, so there will be no new locations. As for Mr. Knott's questions, other than LED, no, we did not look at other forms of solar or energy savings or new lighting. As for Mr. O'Doherty's question, I am not aware of precedents, but something could have happened before my time.
Thank you very much. I'll read a statement. Before I formally close this public hearing, are there any other property owners subject to a proposed assessment who wish to submit a ballot? If so, they must file with the city clerk at this time. For the purpose of a majority protest, only official ballots are to be considered. I'm telling you that, and it would be filing with the city clerk now. Give them time. No.
Record reflect that there's no ballots that are being submitted by any members of the public at this time.
Yes.
Okay.
With that, I'll close the public hearing. At this time, I hereby direct the city clerk to tabulate the ballots. Ballots will be tabulated on Thursday, February 18th, starting at 9 a.m. in the office of the city clerk at 300 North Coast Highway. The tabulations will be open for public view, and the tabulation results will be presented to the City Council at our next regular scheduled meeting on March the 2nd, 2016. Therefore, this item will be continued to that date. Any other comments from the staff or the attorney? Okay. I close the public hearing and back to the council. And Ms. Sanchez, please.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. There was a question that I definitely want to first answer before I go to my other comments. That was a question that was posed by one of the speakers saying, is there a precedent for helping a neighborhood? Is there a precedent? And actually, we have several precedents. When the Arroyo slides happened, we went out there and tried to stop the slides from getting worse. We had our machinery going out there. We had personnel going out there, our employees, trying to stop that slide, trying to stop as much damage as possible. Now, it turned into a mitigation issue, right? And so, I think if we could have done more, we would have done more. But there are times in the lives of a city that things happen, and we respond as a city, hopefully as a community. There are other, maybe perhaps not less drastic, quiet zones, for example. Quiet zones really affect a certain part of the city, not the entire city, and that's, a whole lot of money as well. And there are some neighborhoods that started with their own, that the city paid for the lights, and the city continues to pay for the lights. This was a planned community. There should have been, there was responsibility for the homeowners association to collect, as part of the dues to collect and to maintain these lights. Unfortunately, after a certain amount of time, that information was not being furnished to the homeowners, or, something happened, and this became a public safety issue. Public safety. So, as a community, I think we've been trying to respond to this. When I first heard about this, I certainly wanted to, I understood that there is a responsibility. I understand that the developer, and it was the developer's decision to make these kind of substandard lights, those ornamental lights that would actually have a lifetime less than regular lights, less than 50 years. So, but when they became pretty much a danger, the city had to take them down, and we did, at our cost. The problem then, of course, it became very dark in Rancho del Oro, in those neighborhoods. These are family neighborhoods, even if they were senior neighborhoods. It's just not good to have dark places, because we are very concerned about the public safety of all of our residents. So, yes, we have finite funds in our general fund, but we try to respond to the needs of our community as well as planning for the future. So, having said all that, my other comments are that I have from day one suggested and wanted to at least go 50% of the cost, because this is a huge cost for, they're all falling apart about the same time. If they had came in more or less in certain levels, time slots, it would be different, but they're all coming in at the same time, and it is a real problem for, not only for the residents out there, but anybody that goes over there to visit. We want to, at least for my part, I want to ensure the public safety of our residents. So that is the explanation that I give. Thank you.
Thank you. Ma'am, did you have, it seemed like you had more questions than just the two that you presented. Okay. I just wanted to make sure, so. Yeah. Yeah. I was just making sure that you got your questions answered before I go on with my comments. So, Doug, you said $33.19 is the fee every single-family home pays? throughout the city?
Honorable Mayor, Councilmember Feller, no, it's not throughout the city. It's just for the RDO area under this new proposed assessment. What the citywide district pays per typical single-family residence today is $15.80 per year. So they'll be paying more than what the citywide district.
And why would that be?
The Honorable Mayor, Councilmember Feller, the current citywide district is currently subsidized by gas tax and other dollars, so that assessment is lower artificially. So under the new assessment, it has to be self-sustaining. That's why they're higher.
Okay. So these are public streets with private lights on them, essentially. Before, we're turning them into public streets with public lights.
Honorable Mayor, Councilmember Feller, they were not up to city standard lights.
Okay. Well, I know the HOA had an assessment many years going back into the 80s where they were there was a great deal of money accumulated in the HOA's bank account, and somewhere that money disappeared some time ago. It happened within probably a year of the time that we started discussing these changes that we're going to have to do out there. I've heard many people say, I don't want the lights again, but in the greater good, I think we have to go with the wishes of the people that have voted now. So that's coming to us in just a couple of weeks, and I think that I guess we're just going to have to live with the vote of the people that live there. And you know, I'm sorry that it has come down this way, because I've felt all along that you know they should have the HOA should have been contributing to the cost of these, and they did something with your money. All the residents of Rancho Del Oro, they did something with your money, and we won the lawsuit, so we didn't have to do any kind of research on it. So that would have probably helped you at this time. So sorry about having to do it if we have to, but it's up to the people now.
Mr. Mullen, please.
Just a quick clarification. I think there was a comment that these are privately owned lights, and that is not the case. The city owns the lights. What was concluded in the lawsuit is that the city did not have a legal obligation to replace them, absent at least a funding source. So, and it was a legislative determination about how the city council wants to allocate their funds. So they're publicly owned. Secondly, we did win the lawsuit before we had a chance to complete discovery, and so we weren't able to tear their books apart and take all the appropriate depositions because we won a summary judgment motion fairly early in the proceedings. So I can't tell you what money they had or didn't have to replace.
We know that from the past, but I guess I didn't mean public. I knew they were on public streets, but I felt like it was a different deal with them.
They were ornamental lights that had a substantially less life expectancy than our standard concrete lights.
And did the city install them?
No, they were installed with the development.
Okay.
Mr. Kern, please.
Thank you. I just want to answer the lady's question that she had about what response we've had. And this time around, I have had very little response, or very few emails concerning this issue. When we heard this last year, we got a ton of emails that we discussed. And so I don't know what it may be, because they had the ballot, but I did not receive, I don't know if my colleagues received many. I don't remember receiving any emails concerning this issue this time around. And I think as far as total response, I think right now there's like 1,300 or so ballots that we've received. I don't know how many total properties are out there that were eligible to vote, but I think the clerk's office has about 1,300 and whatever we collected tonight.
That's correct.
So that's hopefully the answer to your question about how responsive people are. Thank you.
So just to have a clean record, could we have a motion to continue this to March 2nd?
Yes.
Second.
And Esther, you're on again? Yeah. Okay. So this is continued to March 2nd, right?
Correct.
Thank you. You need a vote on this? Oh, we can, you ma'am, want to step forward. We've closed the public comments, but I can't hear you anyhow.
I'm sorry, Honorary
Use the mic, we can help. Pull it down. I can hear you.
Honorary Mayor and the council members, as I heard that when the developer, when our community Rancho de Doro was developed, the developer put the lights. Is that correct?
I couldn't hear her.
Mayor, I'll meet with the speaker after you consider this item, and I'll answer all her
I just want
questions.
to make sure she had comments.
If that is the case, then
Got your hand up too? Developer. They'll talk to you afterward till we close the public comments. Have a seat and we'll talk to you after we close this issue, okay? Have a seat, we'll talk to you. Have a city attorney talk to you.
Perfect. Thank you.
I had a hard time understanding her. Thank you, ma'am. But the other thing is, have a seat. We'll let them talk to you in a second. This has been going on for years. I'm sorry for that. The homeowners association was not cooperative at all. We tried to get involved and pay for it and get a portion of it. They didn't want to do that. Well, they took us to court instead and they lost. And there's a lot of lights out there, but they're substandard. They were going to fall down. We cut them down, and then because of the litigation, we have a contract which says the homeowners will take care of them and put them up, not the city. So that's why we won, and we don't know why we're going through this, but now we're at a ballot thing. We'll decide that, and that's the way we'll go. Thank you. We tried to help them. I think your homeowner association should have been addressed by all the people out there. I don't know the amount, but I understand there was $700,000 in the HOA that disappeared. Anyhow, that's it. Okay.
Yeah, please vote.
Please vote.
Motion is approved, 5-0.
Thank you very much. And I want to say that Councilmember Sanchez would like to have a closing report of the short and make a closing honor of Bob Drew, who passed away in Costa Serena. So if you can go from there, Esther, I appreciate it.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. And I do apologize to my colleagues here and to the public. I had an unfortunate conflict earlier this evening. I did attend, and I'm assuming that other council members reported on the events the last couple of weeks. Main Street Mixer was a wonderful networking event. The Oceanside Police Department had 5 new officers sworn in. Laurel School Elementary had a concert, 4th and 5th graders, and it was a pretty wonderful event. Oceanside Fire Department had graduation, academy graduation, 12 new recruits that graduate to become new firefighters, so hopefully they'll stay locally. We had an annual Oceanside Public Library Volunteer Appreciation Day. Every year, we feel so blessed that we have so many volunteers for the public library, but for them, there's no way that we could do as many programs as we have through the library. We had the Canine Companions for Independence graduation ceremony. It was really very touching to attend that because we had the trainers that were there who have from puppy until, through this whole training program. And I believe they spent about $50,000 per dog. And they become the reason why people can actually live a fuller life. And so we had the trainers, we had those that were chosen to have these phenomenal animals, really, just like people. And I mean, the names and the very touching pictures that we were able to see. And the recipients, as I said, were there, and it was really, truly great thing to see how their lives had changed. And I believe were there 11 dogs that graduated? 11 dogs. I did want to say that this coming Saturday, February 20th, there is the American GI Forum Oceanside chapter is having their Mariachi Festival this Saturday, 6 o'clock. And for the first time at the Veterans Center, just up here on Mission Avenue, it's not too late to get your ticket. It's $35 a person. Food will also be available to purchase. Ida Acuna has tickets, and if you want her contact information, I'd be glad to give it to you. Just call my office at 760-435-3057. And finally, I just want to say a couple of words about Bob Drew. Bob Drew from Costa Serena. I think one of the things that we remember about Bob Drew was that he was always barefoot. Always walked around barefoot. And this guy was a phenomenal, just so much energy, really worked, cared so much about our community, about our seniors, just really fought for senior rights. And it's sad to know that he's gone. I didn't know when he went. It was about a couple of weeks ago. Bob Drew, thank you for everything that you did for Oceanside, for our seniors, for our community. Thank you.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for your attendance and your interest. But I'm going to adjourn this meeting to March the 2nd at 3:30 at this location, our council meeting. And we'll give a moment of silence for Bob Drew from Costa Serena, if you would, please. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen.